Welcome to Close the Sale. My name is Jason Tiedick, and I help financial advisors communicate in a style unique to them.
I'm Carl Detman, and I help financial advisors to run a more efficient practice.
And today, if you look on page 13, we're going to show you how to increase your client acquisition rate by 50% during the close and decrease the time it takes you to do it in half. And the way we're going to do this is, if you look on this screen up here, most people, when they're trying to do the close, are trying to pitch and trying to sell. And Carl, what are we going to teach them to do?
We're going to teach clients how to sell themselves.
So if you look at on page 14, you'll notice that there's three things that make this program different from all the other close programs you've seen. We're going to teach you why it works. We're going to teach you practical things. There's actually going to be 155 practical things you're going to get today that you can use tomorrow to start closing more and more business. And we're going to teach it to you, and this is my favorite part, in whatever style is unique to you. So we have all four styles up here today. We're going to talk about how to do this. But if you look on page 14 halfway down, this program is literally going to transform how you close prospects. It's going to change the game for you forever. And Carl, if you could give a quick briefing on why or how it's going to do that. How do most reps typically close, and how is this going to change the game for them?
When you look at most reps, what you see is a ratio of about 33% of people become your clients. So if you meet with and do a thorough fact finder on 3 people, 1 person of those 3 is actually going to become a client. What we look at, and usually what that is doing, and you'll look at the picture on there, you'll see it's a person pulling on a door, and it's almost like trying to push a boulder up a hill, and you're just hoping and praying. We call it the pitch and pray, which we'll be talking about, where you pitch something, you walk people through a great plan, you give them all this great advice, and then you pray at the end that they're actually going to want to do it. What we're going to teach you guys how to do is to ask the right questions, how to not pitch, how to not make statements, but instead turn those into questions, which leads people to then coming to their own conclusions, allowing them to sell themselves.
Take a look at this slide. You'll see this in your workbooks, by the way, on page 91. Page 91, how to refresh why you exist. There's 4 parts. You can write this with me in the box. And there are these 4 colors up here. First, you want to refresh your role as a coach. That's what's up here in green. Carl, could you read what you say when you want to refresh your role as a coach in green?
What I'd say to my clients, I say, just to refresh your memory, what my job is or what my role is in your life is just to be a coach. That simple.
Now remember, I told you I'd tell you what's universal and what's unique to Carl? I'm going to suggest this one's universal. How you coach is up to you, but your role as a coach, that's what you're doing.
And I think how that manifests itself is you can say, and this is one of the things you have to ask yourself, how are you communicating what your role is to your clients? You could be a coach, an advocate, a consultant, or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter what the name is, and I can tell you as we go through this close the sale, how we're going to be closing people and getting them to close themselves is just like how a coach coaches a basketball team.
Yep.
You give the people directions, you help motivate them, and you let them go loose on the field.
And by the way, all the language that's up on this screen right now is also on pages 92 and 93. We'll get to it in a second, but for right now, stay with me on 91. Second piece to refresh why you exist is your hook, which we already created. This is the happiness, success, freedom. Carl, could you read to me or say to me your hook that you'll actually say to clients after you say you're a coach?
I'll back up a little bit. So I'll say, my role, just to refresh your memory, Jason, what my role is to be a coach, and what the goal is to reduce, if not eliminate, financial regret.
Mm-hmm. And that's right up there. And then he says usually 3 things cause it, and this is Carl's value proposition. What are the 3 things?
To not procrastinate. So what we'll talk about today is not procrastinating.
What else?
The second thing is lack of vision, and I put together this nice vision statement for you, which we will show in a slide later.
It's right here.
There it is.
That's the vision statement he actually used with a real client, different names.
And the third is to build a plan. And we base all the recommendations, and we'll spend a majority of our time today walking through a plan.
We're going to get to that vision statement in a moment, so don't worry so much about that. But look up here. I'm going to move over here and show you this. You see the red? It says, my role as a coach is to reduce, if not eliminate, financial regret. 3 things cause it: procrastination, your vision, lack of plan. But everything in blue is number 3 in your box. Blue is the end result. He's communicating to the client right up front, refreshing why he exists, the end result that he's going to give this client. So far, we have 3 things. He's a coach, the hook, which is the why, which is happiness, success, and freedom, and then the end result. And lastly, in purple, It's a unique ability. There's a great book. Somebody came up to me at break about 2 hours ago and said, how do I figure out my unique ability? They literally said these 2 words. By the way, there's a book called Unique Ability. It's a great book. You should check it out. And it helps you figure out what you're good at and love. I call this a crux, the thing you're good at and love. When they come together, that's what you're passionate about. That's your mission. We'll talk about this tomorrow, the inner glow. But here's the thing. Carl's unique ability is
To lead you to the promised land.
he's a leader. I'm not a leader, I'm a responder. Catherine's a responder, Matt Heckman's a responder, but Chris and Carl are natural born leaders. And they lead, his job is to lead you to the promised land. That's what he says. What's yours?